Has the sector rotation started in the markets? This is what you need to know before the bell. So over the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about the potential for a sector rotation. This would be where all the money flows that have been chasing into the big cap stocks like, for instance, Apple, Microsoft, Google, Nvidia, would eventually rotate back to some of the areas of the markets that have really been underperforming as of late, small caps, mid caps, etc. That appears to have started here over the last couple of days. Now, how long will it last? Don't know for sure, but typically, when this occurs, this lasts for a period of time, and then the previous leaders come back into vogue again. So again, let's take a look at some of these big cap names that everybody's been chasing as of late. We've warned that a lot of these stocks were getting pretty overbought. And in fact, earlier this week, we suggested taking profits out of those positions if you had a lot of weight in them and look for an opportunity to buy them back a little bit cheaper later. Nvidia, of course, that's been the darling of the AI chase. It gotten 4 standard deviations above the moving average. That is now starting to do that correction process that we've talked about. Now, it hasn't even triggered a sell signal yet. It's still on a buy signal, but extremely elevated buy signal. So again, this has a decent level of room to correct here to bring the stock back down to the more normal ranges of its moving average to around 339 on Nvidia. So if you're looking for an entry opportunity, it may be coming, but it will probably be more in line with this previous rising trend of the stock, not this kind of island top that it has built here just recently. But let's also look at Apple as a good example, because it's also another big stock here everybody's been chasing as of late. It's had a terrific rally, got very overbought here, now starting that correction process, just about to trigger a sell signal here as well, suggesting we may see a bit more correction in Apple. Microsoft as well has been another one of the chases here as of late in technology. Has already begun a correction, testing its 20-day moving average now, 50-day sitting right below it. So again, we've got some more correction going here. Actually has triggered a sell signal on Microsoft, so suggesting a little bit more of a correctional process may occur in that area. Amazon as well, that's lately has been doing well. Expectations are they're going to adopt AI, use it more for making sure that you get stuff from Amazon even before you think about it, right? They're using artificial intelligence. It's just going to be called pre-prime. Just show up at your door and you'll just pay for it. That's been the thought anyway. But here again, 3 standard deviations overbought, getting that correction, about to trigger a sell signal, suggests a little bit lower prices here in Amazon short term. Again, this is kind of the same story across all those big cap names right now. Money seems to now be rotating towards areas that have been really kind of out of favor as of late. Basic materials is a good example of that. Albemarle has been creeping up here as a good example of a miner. On that kind of basic material side, of course, they mine lithium. But Albemarle been under a lot of pressure this year, but finally starting to get a little bit of leg underneath it here, triggering a buy signal recently. Looks a little bit better. Healthcare also under a lot of pressure. Healthcare across the board has been one of those areas really kind of lagging the market in general. Healthcare really hasn't started to pick up just yet, but we are starting to see a little bit of money flow into some of those areas that have been under a tremendous amount of pressure. CVS has been creeping up here very nicely. Very cheap stock, trading at about 0.29 times price to sell. So very, very cheap, but actually triggering a buy signal, starting to make a little bit of a rally here again. We saw that kind of rotation over the last few days into these small cap, mid cap names, as well as some of these other stocks that have been under more pressure. Communications, of course, has been under pressure in every area but Google and Meta, which are in communications, but companies like Verizon, as a good example, have not really performed well at all. Starting to see a little bit of money kind of flow into those stocks as well. So again, it's been a very bifurcated market, and even in the sectors that have been performing well, like communications, it's really only been 2 stocks, Google and Meta. If you take a look at a lot of the other stocks within that sector, they haven't performed that well. But we are starting to see a little bit of a pickup there. So again, this is one of those kind of markets where this rotation may last for a little bit longer. So again, some of these out of favor stocks may provide some opportunity here short term, but most likely what we'll see is a correction in some of these big cap names that'll give you a buying opportunity. Leaders tend to stay leaders for an extended period of time. So use corrections if you want to add to your technology exposure, that's fine, but use this correction as an opportunity to increase that weight at better prices. I'm your host, Lance Roberts, and that's what you need to know before the bell.